It's time to talk to Evrart Clare. The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. A stair made of pallets leading up. A taxidermy fish that tells time.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are you in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois. It's good of you to stop by. Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny chair opposite to his giant desk.
I'm Evrart Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
I don't sit. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves.
I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
He turns back to his typewriter.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
He gives you a sly wink. Try to wink back.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically large.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Wait, you know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Take the comically large check, but don't say anything.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
No, it's cool. You've got integrity.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he said, "Don't worry," he actually meant, be very worried.
How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Composer challenging. Don't panic.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are going to shoot themselves with it.
No, I'm not about to cry. Try to stay cool.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
The large man snaps his fingers, but to no effect. You're in some kind of stupor. There are no Harrys left in your... There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe place.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nah, I'm as good as it gets, Mr. Dubois. Vaguely gesture with your hands above your head.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
Honestly, I didn't want to bring it up, Harry. I heard you have become Measurehead's race pupil.
I'm not a race pupil. I just listened to some of the things he had to say.
Of course, Harry. Of course. You're not some kind of a fantastic racist now. And rest assured, no one's going to hear about it.
He winks at you.
No one's going to know what you did with race there, Harry. Your race bonanza is safe with me. Word of how racy it got will never leave Martinez. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
I'm told the union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any jolly fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
No comment.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Evrart, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
My memory is fine. I'm just testing you.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
He pats the brown folder in front of him.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done.
You must have questions, Harry. Come on now. Don't be shy. Let's hear them.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Let me get this straight. What is my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
I feel like a Dubois, but not quite like a Harry. Something longer.
Sure, okay. You're Harold. Harmon. Haroldamus? But that's not what the record says. The record says Harry Dubois, a real man's name.
Do you know anything about my family? Do I have a wife or kids or...
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
Never mind the family.
Family, Harry, is the most important thing in the world.
What kind of a cop does it say I am?
Harry, you're not simply a cop, you're a star. A bright shining star in the drab law enforcement sky, outshining all other stars. You're a superstar.
See, that's what I like about you, Evrart. You get me.
Of course I do, Harry. And I'm gonna help you shine. I'm gonna put you on all the big stages, your name in giant neon letters. Harry Dubois.
The giant neon sign reading Harry Dubois, hanging from the Cavalson crane, can be seen all the way to Jamrock. Somewhere in Mirova, a beautiful woman sees the bright glow on the horizon and says to herself, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have left him."
Where did you get that folder?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
Drama. Medium. Have another look at the folder.
As you look at the folder, Evrart covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau and everything else from your behavior here in Martinez.
But I really got you good there for a moment, didn't I, Harry? Now, what can I do for you?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois?
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Let's talk about my lost gun.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Hold on, could he really hold my gun hostage?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your men factored that in?
Yes, thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed factored in that you pawned it. Now please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry, relax. I have great guys on this. You focus on what's important. Building our relationship for the good of Martinez.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Does this mean if I do things for you, I will get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means.
I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help, like I'm helping you with your lost gun. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
I sense there's a but.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, let's blow it open.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're a police officer, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
I've opened a few doors in my life.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colours, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly.
He removes his glasses and rubs his nose.
Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
He puts his glasses back on. Damn it. Fine. I'll look into it. We need to talk about the murder.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level.
He flicks his fingers.
You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Kvalsund crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals.
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you find your lost gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
Are you sure? I find it a little odd.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a midget.
Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Joyce said that the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
It's funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
That much is true. His heart truly is in it, though you wouldn't think so by looking at him. This particular brand of humor he has, it makes for a fine distraction. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
Evrart, Joyce seems to think that the Union is lowballing her.
Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
Well, why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Evrart doesn't mind.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Evrart, I'm going to leave now, but we'll talk again later.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
Great. Wouldn't want to get stuck in here.
Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
It would seem we get to play lackey for a bit.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Persuade the door to open.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option.
You've got to dance with the one that brought you, detective.
A composite eye of halogen lights watches you, emitting a low buzz.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too, probably.
Labor Utopia.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Evrart said you have a key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
He said it belonged to a weasel.
Oh, say no more. I got you.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I'm not opening this door for myself. I'm opening it for all working men.
I knew this man was a commie. And it's a good thing you're doing too. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person? When he'll be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
The man takes a big sip from his flask.
He means he's not going to tell you, cause he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that you're working for Evrart. Who he is, and what they're fighting for. This is interesting.
Actually, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Evrat's law. But really, they're just like you.
Why are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share.
Aye.
He seems pleased with himself. Wait, so not wages or pensions or...
This stuff, they already covered.
Shouldn't you be grateful then? It's a lot more than most people have.
Never grateful. Were we ever grateful, we'd have nothing. You fight for every piece.
How large a share would you like?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in southeast Grad. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist.
Are you a communist?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
But the stuff you do aligns admirably well with the World Republic. Why not call yourself a communist?
I have nothing against communists. They are honorable boyaderos. And they have good analysis. But my own code serves me well. If my code starts failing, a code can fail a man as well as a man can fail a code, then I will have to submit to a new one, which may well be communism.
I guess I understand.
See, I am primarily a lazy person.
He looks very amused, as if thinking about some private joke or mystery. The boss man, Evrart. What can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail, anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
You mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
You're right, he's very ascetic.
Okay, he's reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway, and moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
This man has political theory, and it has not failed him today.
You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be, an endless torrent of time.
Any idea who killed the hanged man?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
He shakes his head solemnly. The Merc was hanged with a very specific type of a cargo belt, one often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors.
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Hold up, what does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He's not lying about not doing it himself.
Thank you. This has been of limited use.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
He takes a sip from his flask. While we're at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and... I kind of want to forget advanced race theory, but let's commit to it. And in the meantime, take on the thought cabinet idea of apricot chewing gum scented one. I believe I read this last time. It pertains to the dreaded X something.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again.
Interesting. We can ask him about the Belle Margrave antique rifle that we found in the hidden bunker room near the fridge. Is there anything you can tell me about this rifle?
It's a Belle Margrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
In the basement there, pointing to the bookshop.
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Renee, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He adds with a slight sigh.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why are you on a leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
He says with dignity.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
The container yard has been unguarded for a week?
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrart created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too. Proudly hold out the tear bag.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. You looked happy. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
His features stiffen and he gets a cold look.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
I saw the statue of Philippe III near the roundabout.
Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
How should a true king rule?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Powerful leaders, not afraid to do what must be done. That's what this country needs.
Revachol would be a different place if more people realized that. We could still be the...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
There is some weariness in his voice now. He's heard this rant many times before.
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve. No one and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
What was that about cocaine?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
He asks, obviously annoyed.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine. For clarity of vision. To aid in their work. Regnum cocainum. Revachol's finest years.
He seems to grow taller, brimming with pride about the past. They used cocaine for clarity of vision.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Higher realms. Of course, it all makes sense. He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
What was that about higher realms? Sounds interesting.
It's really not. Please, do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
Let's talk about something else.
Right.
Don't want to attempt the 3% composure check right now, so we'll head off.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Let's attempt to explain our artistic intentions.
They do say the painter always paints his own portrait.
I'm going to paint a self-portrait, but sorta, from the inside, to show people what it's like.
That's pretty fucked up. Even for you, piggo.
Okay, I won't do that. Please, just give me some paint and a brush. I need to do some art.
You're a real sad sack. You know that? Go ahead then. Art it up. Just try not to hurt yourself. And no self-portraits.
She drops her paintbrush into the puddle below. Thanks, Sydney.
Oh, but I'm all out of fuel oil.
You know what you should be able to find in your government-issued vehicle? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil.
Right on. No way I'm settling for paint if even children are painting with fuel oil.
That beautiful wall deserves nothing less.
And now, to unlock the door.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Use Manana's key to unlock the door.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator? A fountain of quicksilver? There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might.
Don't God tell me twice.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Tap on the mugs.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures.
What do I mean, uncomfortable?
The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much.
Typical asshole.
This person is unhappy.
Whip out the yellow man mug and compare.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. The owner of this collection could be dumping his trash in the Whirling's container. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Is this really the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in mind. You could ask Evrart who this person is once you're done here.
Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Hey, a shirt. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on this flag.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold sun miracle?
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth, and blue flares.
Bow down before the flag.
The flag accepts your honorable salute with quiet dignity. It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
This is endurance piping up. The what? Sounds like my stomach is growling.
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vows.
The vows of blood and flesh.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revishal's problems?
Foreigners?
Yes, them, but also women.
Women.
Women, men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen. That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Fascism sounds so bad, though. What if we called it something else, like, traditionalism?
Okay, yes, let's call it that. Good thinking. That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Okay, stomach, I've made up my mind about fascism. Proceed to the judgment.
You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This sloop is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke with the lorrymen at the roundabout.
On the contrary, officer. There are yet camionneurs you have not talked to. And don't look so surprised. In a time like this, it would be strange if Wild Pines didn't have eyes on the harbour.
They must have someone in an overlook position, near the gates.
I suggest you go back and canvass for more suspects.
And by the way, I've talked to Evrart Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
She answers her own question.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
Of course. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Worm myself. But If you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
Her eyes become large and round.
So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Yes. As you said.
She looks confused for a moment. Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Your gun, yes. Do you want to talk about something else now?
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
He seems to be in some sort of loop.
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Well, that's not good. Looks fine over here. You sure it's not some sort of glandular problem?
What is happening?
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Executive function is completely shot. I keep pushing buttons and nothing is happening.
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Of all the things to be stuck looping, this has got to be one of the most witless.
Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Sweetheart, please stop repeating that now.
Her eyes look worried, frightened even. Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
Please.
She looks around. Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun. Mr. Evrart is helping me find my gun.
How do we get out of here? What makes you think we will? Yeah, we need to pull the plug. There's nothing else to do. Are you not afraid it'll kill him? What if he forgets everything again? Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
Detective! Is everything all right in there?
I'm great. Are you alright?
I'm much better now that you're back. You seem to be caught in some sort of loop.
Loop.
Never mind the details. We've wasted enough time as it is. What matters is that you seem to have got out of it. Now, please ask me something else before it happens again. Something that, preferably, doesn't include the words Mr. or Evrart. Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
I've got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been of assistance.
Actually, real quick, let's see if we can juice our conceptualization anymore. And then I'm willing to sink one more point into it here just to try again, because conceptualization is our main skill after all.
You're back. Good. What can I... More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
8%. Still not looking good.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all.
Glad to have been of assistance.
can I help you?
He arches an eyebrow. About my bill for tonight.
Got the 20 real?
I have this giant novelty check.
You must be kidding, right? Yeah, good one, officer. Real funny. But this establishment only takes cash. Now, do you have that cash, Mr. Novelty Check Man?
Yeah, 20 real for the night.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Let's see if we can cash the check and deposit our terror at the Frit. And we can ask the racist lorry driver about drugs.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up?
Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Apples?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
You're a lorryman, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
He takes a long drag on his cigarette. Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
Listen, I agree. It's our responsibility to keep this poison off the streets of Revachol, right?
He eyes you warily, unsure how to respond. This goes on for about 2 seconds. Then,
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
He puffs on his cigarette. Then what are you still hanging around here for? Most other camioneers have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
if they were getting drunk inside the whirling in rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry?
If y'all were at the whirling, how do you know it was Kips who broke into the lorry?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the Kips who do all the stealing around here? That's not road to science, man.
If it's not you, then who's running drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Wait, the street vendor south of here, that guy's a lorry driver?
Of course he's a lorry driver. What? He tell you he's just some simple businessman or some shit? He's selling his employer stuff after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, alright? 100%.
Guess I need to pay him a visit then.
Guess so.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
She returns to her magazine.
What's that magazine she's reading?
What magazine are you reading?
You mean this?
She looks at the cover, boasting a colorful photo of two girls kissing.
This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it. It's not for sale.
I'm not even interested in that magazine. I don't know why I asked about it.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's proceed. I have some questions for you.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
She puts down the magazine. I need to exchange this novelty check for cash.
Wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir.
She rolls up the giant novelty check, looks like she's seen it before, and slips it under the counter.
Anything else I can do for you?
No, you don't work for the Union. The Union works for you by supplying you with cash.
Does Frit have a warehouse in the back of the Whirling in Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
This is important.
She scrunches up her face into an expression of consummate adolescent skepticism.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
She turns back to her magazine without waiting for you to respond. Can you tell me anything about the dead body?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
Did you know the man who died?
Not really.
Not really. Does it mean you knew him a little?
No. I didn't know him at all.
How long has it been there?
I don't know, really long.
And what do you think happened?
I don't know.
Thank you for your help.
Uh-huh.
She brushes a strand of hair off her face and tries to return to her magazine. Yellow roses, dozens of them. Tulips, too. A melancholy pop song plays on the radio.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
A colourful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer.
I am in heaven. I need it all so bad.
Sure. If you want something, I can get it for you. Just let me know and pay and stuff.
She adjusts her hat.
But I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, don't look, don't do anything here. Just go away. Get back to work.
Please, tell me more about these products.
The Pale Age vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong.
What is pale?
You know.
She shrugs, uninterested in explaining it further. Okay, what will consuming this stuff do to my body?
I mean, I already said it'd hurt you. I don't know what else they do.
She stares at you, unsure. Do you sell any under-the-counter vices?
No, Frit only sells legal drugs, like the law says.
Do you sell speed at this establishment?
Huh? Speed. Like, speed. No, Frit doesn't do that.
She blinks at you, bewildered. It looks like all the alcohols have the same effect, and I think I have a bottle of wine right now. Let's go with the cigarettes.
Here you go, mister.
The tear machine. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Let's go talk to the self-styled merchant and then maybe visit the pawn shop now that we have some decent cash.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
So, Seleng, What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
We're looking for a lorry driver who's transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this traffic jam.
That's so cool. You investigating the local drug trade like some cool narc? But I am not a lorry driver. I am just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole.
He stops to think.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
He spreads his arms. Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation at the harbor?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
Wait, what crowd?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. He doesn't want to talk about them. He's afraid.
Who are you afraid of, Seleng?
Look, there's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
If you don't want to get into this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Is the lady driver the old woman back there? The pale driver, dazed out, strange.
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
It could be. She was strange. He's not ruling her out.
Who are these other drivers who talk?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
Okay, we're cool now.
All right. Very cool. Let's cap this off with a purchase. A pair of funky sunglasses, detective? You deserve.
Let's see if I can buff my rhetoric here to persuade him to give me some money.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
After all this mess, the broken seals, lying to you, come on.
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
Or you could not make this about corruption and go with something even wilder.
It's an investment in me, a highly experimental human being. My risk-reward ratio is insane.
I guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. How much are we talking about here?
10 real.
10 real is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
He takes a 10 note from a leather pouch. I'll leave you to it for now. Let's visit the pale driver one more time.
Old monuments. The woman is still hunched over the railing.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
Alright, are you the lady driver?
Did you just call me a lady, Herife?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it.
I was told of a woman driver. You're the only woman here.
I'm not that either, Herife. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
So, you're not the driver everyone is terrified of.
I'm only terrifying to small children, and to those who used to know me.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
Why are you scary to the people who used to know you?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
You said long haul. That's...
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there, it's all just...
She hums along as if to a track on repeat.
In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't hear any vocals.
Then who is the female driver I was told of?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
That's all I needed to know. Thanks.
Oh, Sim.
The woman stares at you, her mind elsewhere now, on other matters.
Something in her is pulling towards some unknown rest state. She twitches, like a sleep kick.
Make way for the master poet.
I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
He shifts around, suddenly uncomfortable, then looks away. I don't mean to pry, but I need your help. She may be involved with the drug business.
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
I asked you who's conducting the drug trade and you said you didn't know. Now you're saying you do.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
He still is, hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part, not trickery. It's true. We would have caught a lie, but a kind heart is tricky. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
Who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
I can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you.
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Does this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Hold on, her mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances, and he's okay with others ratting her out? Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
So you're alright with others ratting her out. You just don't want your hands dirty?
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
Put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation too. It's important. I can't blow it.
You're not going to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Imagine it. An explosion of stars. Goodbye world of men, money, and machines.
Fine. I'll drop the matter for now. Find another way.
Thank you, friend. Wow. This makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes, too.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
I know you've been giving me the runaround. Fess up. Where's the lady driver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
First, you knew Salang didn't do it.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another honest lorryman's job. Talk to him. I don't know anything.
Then why are you smirking?
Listen up, fuckwit. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Rivachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run shit.
So who does? You?
I ain't saying nothing.
Isn't saying nothing saying something? Or did I just blow your mind?
So you are saying something.
What?
It's a double negative. Not saying nothing means you're saying something.
How about you fuck off? I ain't saying anything.
Well, hello. Someone seems to have found himself a bottle of alcohol. Here's where the magic happens. Light reflects off the green glass of the Commodore Red. The gods have been generous. Better pop it open before they change their minds. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol container laughably easy to open. A child could have done it.
Open the bottle.
There's a satisfying pop as the cork jumps out, and the hair on your back rises like an army at attention. You've been here before. Welcome back, detective. You're home now. You see a flash of teeth, a young woman smiling at you near some railway overpass in your ruined past. She is gorgeous, and she is yours.
What will be the repercussions if I take a sip?
Nothing. Some mental stuff. Nothing to be worried about. Physically, you'll be strong as an ox.
Take a sip.
A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind. All the bad things are melting. You're you again. A real cop. A real detective. Incredibly well done. From the void we came, and to the void we must return.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Yeah, this ain't gonna happen, but we'll try it.
The main thing is to not overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is, how does it look on your resume?
Why don't you and me just take a step outside for a little talk?
What? What do you think we're doing right now, Runt? We're outside, talking.
Damn it, I meant, do you want to find someplace private to... No, shit.
There's some kind of homo thing?
No, of course not. Just tell me what you know.
Make me, Runt.
He blows a cloud of smoke right in front of your face.
Stop now. Just ask the other drivers. You have to find out who the lady driver is, and you can't do it like this. It's too much.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear.
Hell yeah. Show me her lorry right fucking now. The lady driver's lorry. Where is it?
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
I'm gonna fuck you for the rest of my life, you understand?
Fucking homo cop.
A globule of sweat gathers at his brow.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
Where exactly is her lorry?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
Right, I'm going.
This screen found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
Try to peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Try the door handle.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
How am I going to get this open?
With a key, or a tool, like, say, a pry bar. Good thing you have one. This screen found, A to Z, contemporaire, is with a firm grip you raise the pry bar, a glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, lorry cabin.
Say, fuck the police, and then smash it.
The window shatters, and droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement.
Open the door from the inside.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Admire the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films. from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy. This is Tip Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
What happened to her?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too.
Enough of the posters.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Examine the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver. The peculiar frequency tableau indicates that at least 128 stations have been saved on this radio.
Why would anyone need that many radio stations?
Unclear. For contacting an entire fleet of lorries, for example. This must be the nerve center of a well-organized operation.
Is there anything I can do with the radio?
Not without the dial key, no. The ghostly actresses and the rusty toolbox under the driver's seat and the oddly bulging seat cover.
Check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from one of the driver's right boot soles,
matching one of the footprints found from the crime scene, which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Wait, the 8th missing Hardy.
Looks like it, yes.
And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
You've identified the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys had anything to do with the drug trade?
Not necessarily. The lady driver could have kept the drug trade a secret.
You should probably still talk to them, see what they've got to say for themselves. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a pull-out toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Check the toolbox.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes. You close the rusty old lorry door. Your job here is done.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
No trouble. She's going to be fine.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
He chooses to believe what's best for her.
What's the plan with those rhymes anyway?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
The correct grammar is Tommy Lahom.
Why Tommy Lehome?
Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him.
Alright, I had another question.
The man taps his fingers rhythm.
Actually, that's it. Let's see if we can do something with this cash that's burning a hole in our pocket. And then I'm gonna call it.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Let's try to find some interesting sunglasses in this box. Ah, I see. A pair of water blue shades. The writing on the left temple says, Sub-Insulindic Rendezvous. The frame appears to be hand-carved out of bone.
Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
For the first time, the street vendor's voice trails off as he watches you inspect the glasses.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster, Harry. Giant, hidden, and strangely tender at heart. All is blue. Yes, but they also make your soul quiver like jello. So deep.
Wow, officer. You look so cool.
The street vendor has picked up his pace again as you observe the world through deep-sea tinted lenses.
And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've got no taste. But you found them.
The Sub-Insulindic Rendezvous. We'll take them.
A man who knows his style. Much respect.
We'll also take the +1 perception visor.
40 and practical, officer. Good. You keep coming back.
You find your hands.
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand.
You find your hands deep in.
Economical.
Oh, that's right, I bought the jacket. Okay. And then the shoes were like 50 or something outrageous.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Shopkeep, what's this?
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider.
Who?
The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you see, he's missing his head.
He points at the decapitated figurine.
50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head.
Sure, we'll buy it.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
He grins.
That was a very smooth salesman's grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him.
Inspect the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Shopkeep, what are these?
A classic set. The figurines represent the 5th century Franco-Nigerian cavalry.
Inspect the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Wait, this looks like René, the old guy who was playing pétanque.
That they do. The uniforms are precisely the same, Some even have the same shaped medals pinned to their chests.
Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
Inspect the figurines in rags.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Are these even soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
It's meant to give people hope. Even we can do it.
Maybe.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
How much for the streetlight?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Even taking into account the risk of obtaining the light, that seems a bit steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary, indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room. The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harman Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel eyes.
What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
I want to buy that boombox.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes. Hello again. How can I help you?
The boombox I bought. It should play this tape, right?
Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. It all starts with the tape. Hello again. How can I help you?
Is Roy high, and if yes, then what is he on?
Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues. A guarded man like him wouldn't tell you if you asked out loud.
I wanted to ask about my, missing gun again.
Sure thing.
Have people from Evrart Claire's union come here to track the gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
People as oleaginous as Evrart seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
Sure, man.
The plastic headless Falun rider sits atop his equally plastic bowl, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. It comes as a set with the infamous Falun cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Oh, and here's a red die. This 20-sided die is made of bloodstone and inlaid with lapis lazuli, its colors resembling police sirens. Its blue partner is missing. Kinda looks like the fire department arriving on the scene. Got fucked. Shit fingers. Note: look at the map tab in the journal to see which white checks have opened. Hey, there's the boombox.
Hello again. How can I help you? Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it?
Okay, this is an empty cassette case. There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed in a fit of rage. Something about the Engineer's single Smallest Church in St. Saëns must have rubbed someone the wrong way. The label says the song was recorded in '43.
All the old boomboxes are there, blinking and waiting to whirl. All but one. Yours.
Oh nice, it's playing music. We could go report back to Evrart Claire, but I'd kind of like to wait until we have Kim with us. Let's see if the dice maker is still in, and if so, if she's finished those dice.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The bear's eyes are still.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? I'm listening.
I have more questions about the intercom.
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work. Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Yeah, looks like there's not much else we can do here. Let's try the 3% shivers check.
Oh, it's you again.
Why hasn't her
Are you looking
business
for
failed?
a die?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Start taking off your clothes. You need to connect.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
It's part of the special technique I have.
And what technique is that?
She squints at you, a little astonished at what she's hearing. You still haven't gotten your zipper open. Okay, hear me out. Sometimes I get these feelings.
Officer, This isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings.
Now you feel something. The cold damp of shame washing over you.
No, not like that. It's like I can feel the wind or, I don't know, the air pressure. And then the air tells me things.
The air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio?
This is not going very well, is it? Word-wise.
Yes, exactly.
Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that.
She turns away so you can zip up your pants again. Looks like we may have to return tomorrow.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Let's see if I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout will change.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Wait, where exactly were those eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
We turned up quite a few interesting things, actually.
Ah, good to hear. I wouldn't want to pry into a confidential police matter, but in the event you'd like to share more, I would like to know who it was.
I found research about something called ULAN frequencies related to the operation.
High-intensity microwave frequencies. They're used for navigational purposes, to compress the inter-eastlery space. They may use it to communicate with incoming freighters.
As the shipments approach Revachol? Somehow you suspect something more sinister.
I saw a really advanced radio system with a lot of stations saved, too.
That speaks of the vastness and sophistication of the operation. Were you able to examine the radio?
Unfortunately, the dial knob was missing. The radio itself was inoperative.
Sensible for her to disable access to such essential information.
It seems the architect of the operation has gone missing. An abandoned lorry is near the statue.
A runaway? Good work. This is a tangible lead towards solving the whole mystery.
She's also a fan of vintage movie stars. The inside of the cab was plastered with posters.
We contain multitudes, do we not? It might not be pertinent to her profession, but who knows? It may help you find her yet.
She means you know her closer now. In some way, you know her soul a bit.
It is a she, by the way.
Clever. Few suspect a woman in this sort of skullduggery. Good move on their part.
I've told you what I've found. Now it's your turn.
I appreciate you placing your trust in me. Thank you again for looking into this matter. You have my gratitude, and the gratitude of Wild Pines Group. Now, per our original agreement, it's time for me to share company secrets with you.
There's a change in her demeanor. A caution comes over her. A tension.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and a strike, but I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
A momentary lapse of faith.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker.
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they?
Crenel, an Oronese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Investigation upon investigation here in Martinez, racing towards some dark deadline.
I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power. The Union has over 2,000 men.
The numbers are against them, 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, detective? It's not pretty.
The Serae's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from following suit. One single, concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
What can you tell me about Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Evrart. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Okay, anything else you can tell me?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, You could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Probably.
Ah, yes, your condition. The International Collaborative Police maintains a database for these sorts of things. Perhaps you should consult it. It was just a suggestion.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Who did the passing on, then?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
What do these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
This is the first time I've heard of this. Where did this assault take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You'll meet her soon enough, you feel?
This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
This Lely. Anything else? Nationality? How old would you say he was?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the remaining 2 mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Vigilantes. The RCM gets its authority from the Coalition. Where does theirs come from?
Somehow, I doubt that lecturing them on the legitimate use of force will persuade them to stand down.
I still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Logic medium. Where are these mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbour gates. The scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
The situation at the gates is a powder keg. She says she wants to avert catastrophe, but that's where she draws the line. I call bullshit.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
I had another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much more time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
What, you mean you don't know what's going on?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There is a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Now, can you please tell me about these tattoos? Showing her the photo.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
Stay quiet. Observe the woman's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Places, like blooms in a pattern?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What's the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
I've spoken to him. For now, the soul is fastened inside his corpse.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
What travels did this dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
Then what?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
She points to his heart.
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it. Seems like you can.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
I'll mark it down regardless.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead. Glad to have been of assistance.
I want to ask her the conceptualization question, but this is already going very long, so I think I'm going to stop it here for now.